Hi guys, it's me again, Clem from Wonderwords, and today I'm going to share with you the books I plan on reading in June. So in June I plan on reading, I plan on reading something like, I think it might be 7 books, but I know I'm not going to read all of them, but it's just books that I really want to read before going for 2 months in the south of France for vacation. And they are all pretty hardcovers, and most of them are standalones and contemporaries that I would like to read before going to vacation, and because I don't want to take them with me when I'm going to vacation because they're too beautiful and I don't want to tear them apart with the sand and the beach and stuff like that. And it's also books I want to read in the summer and when it's sunny outside, because I think it's the perfect mood for these books. So yeah, let's get started with my June TBR. So one of the first books I would like to read this month is Magnus Chase and the God of Asgard, and the first book, which is The Sword of Summer. I've been willing to read this book for I think 2 years since this book came out. I want to read it. I'm sure I'm going to love it because it's the Northern God, and as you know it because I already mentioned it on this channel, I'm obsessed with Northern God and I want to learn more about it because I think it's something I'm going to love. And yeah, and I wasn't really into the Kieran Chronicles by Rick Riordan that came after Percy Jackson stuff, but yeah, it didn't really call me because I'm not really attracted by Egyptian mythology and stuff like that, but still. So yeah, I really want to read this book because you see it's real beautiful and I can't bring it in during my vacation because it's going to be crushed by everything I'm going to do this summer. So yeah, and it's time for me to read this book. Next we have Alex and Eliza, a love story by Melissa de la Cruz. So it was one of my most anticipated release for this mid-year, and yeah, and I bought it and it's absolutely beautiful. And as I'm obsessed with Hamilton, and this is about Alexander Hamilton and Eliza Schuyler, I had to buy it and I absolutely want to read it. And yeah, and it sounds fun, and it sounds, oh, it's written big actually. Oh, it's going to be reading, I'm going to read this so fast. Yeah, and it sounds really amazing. I know that some people didn't really like it because it was too fictional, like not really historical, but there are a lot of added items in this book, but I want to see it by myself because I don't really know exactly the story of Alexander Hamilton and Eliza Schuyler. The only thing I know is from the musical, and I read a little bit about it, and I went to see their graves in New York. You see how obsessed I am. So yeah, I will tell you that in my June wrap-up. So yeah, but I'm sure it's going to be good. Then we have one book I want to read for so long now, and it's My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hahn, Brodie Ashton and Jelly Meadows. Sarah got this for me for my birthday, and since my birthday, which was in March, I haven't picked this book up, and it's time for me to read it because once again it's a beautiful book. It's a hardcover. I don't want to bring it in vacation. Now you know that it's going to be the same for all the books I'm going to mention. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I want to read this book so much. It's also an historical fiction, and it's actually good because I have 2 historical fiction in this TBR, and it's good because I haven't read that much historical fiction and I want to read historical fiction because Jenny loved it and I want to read more. I want to expand my horizon of concerning my reading, so yeah, it's good. And it's also sounds really funny and really silly. I know that people are turning into a horse in this one, and yeah, it tells the story of Lady Jane Grey, and I think she ruled for something like 3, 1 or 10 days. I can never remember, but yeah, and It's happening in England and it's about English royalty, and I'm all into that. I love that. I love English royalty. It's like my go-to to every fiction, every TV series. I love this theme. Then we have one of my most anticipated release of 2017, and it's The Upside of Unrequited by Betrayal. She's the one who wrote Simon This the Homo Sapiens Agenda, which is a book I absolutely loved, okay, and I need to reread it soon because I loved it so much. So yeah, I was supposed to pick it up in my May TBR, but in May I actually didn't read a lot of the book because finals happened, and yeah, let's not talk about finals. And yeah, so it's time for me to read it. It's super sunny outside, it's hot, and it's a perfect time for me to read this book. And yeah, and it sounds amazing. The more I see people talk about it, the more the reviews are good. Was it English? Did it make sense what I just said? But I think you understood. Like, I see more and more good reviews about this book, so I can't wait to dive into it and to see what Betrayal did this time with her amazing writing. Then we have two books by the very amazing Morgan Matson. The first one is actually a rereading, and it's The Unexpected Everything that I read actually last year, a year ago. I started, I think, The Unexpected Everything, yeah, a year ago. And I want to reread it because I loved it, and it's the perfect summer book for me. And right now Sarah is reading it, and so we talked about it, and she makes me to want to reread it even more, so I had to put it in my TBR for June. So yeah, I'm going to reread it. If I don't get to reread this book in June, it's not that bad. I really want to get to the other books I mentioned so far, but this one, since it's a reread, it's not that bad if I don't read it before going to vacation. I could still read it when I come back. So yeah, but I would like to read it this month mainly because I'm reading Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson this month, and Sarah read it and she told me that I was going to love it, and I'm sure about it because first, it's Morgan Matson, and second, when you read the premise of this book sounds amazing. It's the story of, I know there is one called Sloane, and yeah, it's the story of Emily and her best friend Sloane disappeared, and she gave him a list of things to do in the summer, like kiss a stranger, dance until dawn, hug a Jamie, sleep under the stars, or some other things. And it sounds absolutely amazing because I don't know, I love this kind of books because it's real contemporary and it has a summer vibes into it, so I'm sure I'm going to love it, and yeah. And last but not least, on my TBR I have The Heart of Betrayal by Mary Pearson, and it's the second book in the Remnant Chronicle. In the Remnant Chronicle, I've been willing to read this book for maybe a year now. No, not a year, but good 6 months. It's on my shelf a good 6 months. Like Jenny lent it to me a long time ago, and I didn't pick it up. So it's time for me to do it, and I really want to see what's happening in this one and to also read the conclusion of this trilogy because Jenny loved it, and I really enjoyed The Kiss of Deception. I really liked how it was done with Leah and the two suitors, but you don't know who was who. And yeah, it was mainly the first book, but I know that in the second the story really begins. And I had a lot of questions at the end of the first one because it says that Leah is supposed to have some sort of magical power, and it says at the beginning of the first book, but then you don't hear about it for the whole first book. So I hope I'm going to learn more about it, and I don't know, yeah, I'm really interested in this trilogy, so it's time for me to read it. So yeah guys, that was it for my June TBR. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to this channel to see more of me and my two friends. It's better if I speak English today. And yeah, so what else can I tell you? Yeah, I will see you next time, and bye guys!